Hi, this is eBike Bird again. It's early October. I think it's about the 8th of October, I think. Low 70s, right around 70 degrees on one of my favorite trails. I have several. Like I say, each time I ride the trail, it's my favorite. Leaves are still green, though some of them are turning. The air is a little cool. Into the sun, then it gets warm, but it's that time of the year. You got the walkers out and people walking the dog, and the sun is pretty bright, so I think my display is reading about 10 miles an hour. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a little cool. Got my yellow shirt on and kind of an insulated shirt underneath that, but on the left. Thank you. I always ring my bell and call out, and like I repeatedly say, I'm not doing that to tell them to get out of my way. They have the right of way. If they just occupied the whole paved trail, I would have to go around on the grass, which I would do. The only danger of riding, as you may see on my right and my left, is the grass. You don't know if there's a hole there because the grass will cover it up, and I found out the hard way once when I went off on the grass thinking it was all level like it looks, and it wasn't. And my front tire went right into a hole that was almost as big as my fat tire. Almost threw me off the bike. Thankfully, I was going slow enough where it didn't throw me off and didn't do damage to my wheel. And maybe for new viewers, I'm riding my Aventon Adventure .2 26-inch fat tire. And for some who are new and didn't realize it, but the fat tire has been around for a long time, many years, but originally it was developed for mountain bikes on the single trails, dirt trails for snow. That was its original purpose. But now it's an all-terrain, all-season tire because it helps eat up the bumps and curbs and tenting from the winter's expansion on the joints of the black top. And once again, I do have a rear view mirror. It's on the left handlebar. It's a bar extension mirror, which you cannot see. And I'm doing about a little over 10 miles an hour, not much. And these trails are just beautiful. And I repeat again that the e-bikes under Minnesota statute are classified as bicycles and therefore are legal on these trails. But the restriction is twofold. You have to be 18 to ride an e-bike in Minnesota. And on the trails you have to have a limit or a maximum motor, either center or rear hub, which this one is a rear hub, but a maximum wattage of 750, which this one is. It's adequate. You get an e-bike, class 1, 2, or 3, which are all legal on these trails. I think you really want to no smaller than a 500 watt if you're going to use just throttle, which I do. I suppose you can go to a 300 or even to a 250 watt motor if you're doing a lot of pedal assist. Now, as I understand from some of my viewers in Europe and even Ireland, that the European maximum motor wattage is 250. It's kind of light, but it still gives you assistance, you know, on pedal assist. Hello. And she has the best security deterrent in the world. Now, I don't mean the baby in the carriage. I mean the dog. Hi. See how dark it gets in here with the leaves, and the trees are so full they cover the path. Actually, I'm kind of cool right here. The breeze. But I have a side mirror which I glance into quite often. I want to know what's behind me. I want to be a situation awareness. I don't ride wondering if someone's going to jump out and get me. I can't do that. But I am aware of what's in front of me and what's behind me. If I see something in front of me that I just don't like, which I refer to as a JDLR, it just doesn't look right. On your left. Thank you. I doubt very much if he could hear me. He had earbuds in both ears, which is highly likely he did not hear me. But he was hovering the right side of the path. But if you can't hear, can't see what's going on, well, you could walk right into a dangerous situation. These folks see me. Beautiful dog. Hello. See there, they've got him under control. And I'm going by slow. I think went by there about 8 miles an hour, which is slow. See, another one, you know, as far as safety or security is concerned, I want to avoid. On your right. You must have seen me coming.
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. They either heard me saying thank you to the people I passed, or they could hear the hum of these tires. The 4-inch fat tire with the knobby tires, they do hum. You may or may not be able to hear it, but they do hum. And some people don't like that. I don't mind it. It just kind of sings. And I think more than not, that's probably what those two ladies heard, was the humming of the tires. It's probably what they heard. I think we're at the north end of Margraff's Lake here. Here we go. Someone resting. Hello there. I believe it's required with dogs to have them on a leash. I'm not positive, but I'm 99% sure that is required. You know, dogs, you know, they would bark. I don't care if they bark. But I don't want them biting my ankles. I do carry pepper spray for two-legged varmints and four-legged varmints. I don't want to use it on either humans or four-legged varmints, but if I have to, I will. If I can speed around them, I'll do it. Hi. Another month and hello. Another month and I'll be wearing some heavier jacket and a liner in my helmet, and right now I think you can see my hands. I got the fingerless gloves. I'll be getting a pair of riding gloves that are covering the hands. I plan on riding down to maybe 40 degrees and a little bit of snow because the bike will handle it. I just have to watch my speed. I don't mind an inch or so of snow. It's ice that then it doesn't matter what kind of tires you have. But snow cover, this bike is heavy enough and the tire is heavy or thick and knobby enough to handle a couple inches. It's like anything else, you just don't override and go too fast. I don't think you could see that, my camera doesn't cover it, but there's a bench there by the water and a couple is sitting there overlooking the lake and enjoying it. My Adventure, it's the model number. Now I've seen people write and say it's an adventure bike. No, it's not. There's no D. Aventon is the manufacturer, and the model is Adventure, no D. Adventure .2 has the front shocks. I have a Sun Tour seat or Sun Pro seat, which is shocks, and the 4-inch tires also absorb a lot of the shock. I haven't fully inflated. I could let some air out and get even more shock absorbent on the tires, but I haven't yet. If we get a little snow, I may bring the pressure down to get a little more traction. But I'm in my 80s, so I don't have a need for speed. I used to, when I was very young, I had a need for speed, but not now. So, I've also mentioned that I have disc brakes, 180 millimeter rotors, disc brakes front and back, and they're also hydraulic. On a bike this heavy, I strongly address hydraulic brakes because this bike is a lot of weight, 80 pounds, well, almost, and I can stop really quick, especially with the hydraulics with not that much effort. One of my viewers, and I appreciated the comment, was asking for a video of the bike and video pointing out the different features of the bike, which I am going to do, and I thank them, and I said it was a good idea and appreciate it. But right now I have enough videos to take me through middle of November, so it'll be into November before I do that, and I'll do it in the garage, but I'm about 5-6 videos out so that video won't go published until probably the middle of November. But I appreciate comments like that.
Light is blinding.
Oh, is that right? Well, I'll adjust it. Oh, that's interesting. I was wondering why he was holding his hand up, and you probably heard him say that the light, that must be my handlebar light, was pointed straight out, and he probably heard him say the light is blinding. So I did. I stopped and pointed it down. My headlight on the bike itself is pointed at the ground, probably 10 feet in front of me. So I don't want to, I'm glad he said that, because I pointed it more towards the ground, where people coming towards me, they'll still see that flashing light. So that's why I acknowledged it and stopped and said I'll adjust it. So, you know, if he hadn't said that, I wouldn't know it. But people walking towards me can still see that flickering light, and it is pretty powerful. So I'm glad he did that. That's why I acknowledged and said, "Oh, okay, I will adjust it." You know, he was kind, so I want to be kind. So, you know, I don't see it. You know, I'm not in front of it, but I know it's very powerful. I don't know how many lumens, 800 or 1,000 lumens. It's pretty powerful. But like I said, my headlight on my bicycle, which I think you can see, yeah, right here, is not, well, it's pretty powerful, but it's pointed about 6, 7, 8 feet in front of me on the ground. I see some people ahead of me here. Yeah. On your left. Thanks again. I can't overemphasize being polite and kind. Almost 100% it's returned when I call out on your left and ring the bell. And my bell is much louder and much sharper than it sounds on the video. Much. On the video it sounds pretty dull, but on the bike and live it's pretty loud. And when I go around people coming towards me, or I'm going around them, I slow down. I may be doing 15 mile an hour, which is plenty fast. Like now I'm doing 10 or 12. Oops. Okay. Thank you. It's pretty. See, there's a situation you got to be careful too. I'll explain as soon as he looks like he's got a walking stick.
Yes, he loves it.
Even with the other dog, and they split. He went on the left side of the trail and she went on the right, so I really slowed down. Went between them because that's what they're expecting, and she was holding the dog by the collar. So, you know, always thank them and they smile. Kindness, usually almost 100% return comes back in kindness. And if it doesn't, well, I was kind. And like I say, when I see wires coming out of each ear for a earbud in each ear, then I'm about 85% sure they can't hear me. Depending on how loud that music is that's going through those earbuds. But at least if they're coming towards me, more than likely, you know, they see me. The trail belongs to everybody, but the pedestrians have right of way. I haven't got that many. I only got a few hundred miles, and basically Very few, as we call them, trolls, or they get upset. They get upset no matter what you do. But again, I would emphasize for safety and security, if you follow all the courtesy procedures of passing someone or crossing or coming at you, and they still start swearing and yelling at you, just keep going. I highly emphasize if something like that happens. It happened to me once, and I kept going. Do not go back and try to explain what you were doing. All it will do will be escalate the confrontation until it's into a position where you're going to have to defend yourself, and you don't want that. You do not want that. So that's why I just keep going, or I don't even wave. They think I'm flipping them off, but I just keep going. But you do not want to escalate the confrontation. Yeah. Me again. When I said me again, he said, yep, but, didn't express or didn't say anything. You never know, you just be kind anyway. I think there was a couple walking up here that I came around the second time. I think I said, me again. I remember coming up, and I usually ring my bell way before I'm on top of them, and rang my bell, and the poor lady jumped off and up to the side, and I said, on your left, as I went by at probably 8 miles an hour. And I said, sorry ma'am, certainly, I said, I didn't mean to startle you. And she just smiled. She might have expected a biker to be coming by really quick and just right by her. That's probably what she was expecting, and probably what had happened. So, hello. Hi. I'm doing 8 miles an hour. That's getting pretty slow, but I can maintain balance at 8. Even 7, 6 and 5, it's getting a little iffy to keep balance. But on this bike I can. Now that I think would be an advantage to a 20-inch fat tire. It's a little more maneuverable and a little easier to balance. Okay, so we are at about 23 minutes for this ride. I'm gonna shut down. I'm gonna head for another one of my favorite rides. Like I say, they all are. And we'll pick you up there in a few minutes. So right now, this is eBike Bert saying, catch you on the trail.